Hi, folks. I'm Jimmy Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
I'm Derek Lemaster.
This is Screen Bloody Movies, the podcast where we review a horror movie each week. And Derek, turn your head again. You look like you are experiencing an angelic moment.
Oh,
Nope,
really? You
lean
think
to
so?
the other side. You had a
Yeah.
big
Yeah,
light
like
right in your
a
face.
bright light on you.
Oh.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah. I roll.
How's your wrists? Are they fine? You're not feeling any like stigmata or anything? Because that's what we're doing tonight, by the way, guys. Stigmata. I was saying that because there's maybe a couple times that my wrist was in danger. Maybe that's a little too hardcore of a joke, but
Well, it's a little morbid.
a little morbid. But we're going to talk about Stigmata, the 1999 film. The turn of the century, guys. The turn of the century was all about these R-rated supernatural films. Gabriel Byrne was in 2 of them in the same year. This and a film we did previously, End of Days.
Uh-huh.
Which is fucking awesome. We talked about it. I think we gave it like 7s. We liked it. It's Arnold fighting the devil. What's there not to like, right?
He played a better devil than he did
he
scientific.
does fine. We'll talk about it. He's not the problem. There is a lot of problems in this film, but he's not one of them, I don't think.
Yeah, we just prefer him
he's
as the devil, I think.
Yeah, because he's fucking great. How are you guys doing tonight?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Hey, it was easy putting the kids down for bed tonight, so I'll take that any day of the week.
I'm fine. I'm good. I'm here to talk movies with you guys. It can't be any better than that. So I do want to start off before we go into the film. I want to talk about, is this either of you guys' first time seeing this?
It's mine.
Oh, so you've never seen this before?
Nope.
And have you ever heard about it besides me bringing it up?
Yes, I have heard about it.
Okay, so you knew it existed.
Yeah.
Derek, do you remember the first time you watched this, and how many times have you seen it prior to tonight?
Oh, Jesus, man. The first time I watched it, so this might be my second, at most my third time watching it. So I've seen it before. When did this movie come out?
1999.
Yeah. Dude, it is a fucking 1999 movie.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get into that.
It's like
We're gonna get into all of that.
oozed 90s.
Yes.
But no, this is not my first time, but I mean maybe it might be 1999 was the last time I saw this movie.
Yeah, so this is I think only my second, maybe third time as well, Derek. I probably caught it on like a premium channel at one point after it came out, but when this thing came out, I remember seeing the trailers for it and thinking it looked pretty good because that was, 1999 is a big year for me. That's when I really started to get into my big horror phase. When I was a kid, I loved Freddy and horror and Halloween, but I was afraid of it. And then the 90s was all about comedy for me, guys. Action movies, but mostly comedy. Jim Carrey, you know what I mean? And then around 1999 is when my horror love started because, of course, Ash Williams and Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 was like the Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2, and the first Evil Dead are like that started around this time. So it started my big horror phase. And I remember seeing this and being like, oh, that looks kind of cool. That looks creepy. That looks scary. And it's kind of edgy because it's about like, a woman being like infected by the, like she's being hurt by the wounds of Christ. That sounds kind of interesting for an idea for a movie. And so I didn't go to the movies and see it. I was, 13. But I did rent it as soon as it came out on VHS. I specifically remember it. I remember, being like, Mom, I really want to watch this. We went to the video store. I rented it. I brought it home. And I remember I watched it by myself. It was during the day. I think I stayed home from school or something. And I watched it. And like at the time, I thought it was fine. I was like, oh, okay. This is okay. And I really haven't seen it since. And I only remembered like the plot and a handful of like scenes, I guess. Because here's the thing. It's really hard to remember a shot from this movie because every fucking every second is 17 shots.
Yeah.
What the fuck just happened?
Oh, the editing in this movie
So,
was
That's what I want to
terrible.
start with. The editing in this movie is atrocious, guys. This might be one of the worst edited films. I mean, besides like this. Oh, let me rephrase that. The editing in this movie might be one of the worst edited big studio films we've seen, because
Yep.
it's not as bad as like Slime City, which is the editing is
No.
just incredibly boring and has no momentum. And it's just fucking,
Right.
or Home Sweet Home, where it's just watching something happen for fucking 5 minutes. You know what I mean? It's not that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But this is the most overly edited movie we've ever fucking done on this show.
Yeah.
I can't think of one that's more. And we talk about the hyper editing of Saw a lot. You
Mhm.
know, of the Saw film, especially when we got to Saw 2, the kind of hyper editing and shots and stuff. And we're like, oh, there's that early 2000s editing, blah blah. This is way worse. This is edited like a music video, but it is like a 90-minute movie.
Fucking
So
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
it is
Definitely.
like almost, it's damn near unwatchable at times, I feel like.
Oh
I
my
agree.
gosh. Yeah, music video. You just nailed it, man. This
Yeah.
It
was
is, and
the
I mean,
longest music video of 1999.
yeah, and here's what's really strange about it is, so uh it's edited, or I mean it's directed by Rupert Wainwright, and the score to this movie is done by Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins. I don't know if you saw that on
What?
the opening credits.
I did
But
not
Missed
Billy
see
it.
that.
Corgan does the music, which explains why the music is like, no shade to Billy Corgan. He's a fine rock musician. He's not a film composer, because there's just scenes where they're like fucking just rock music playing in the background. And you're like, what the fuck?
And
Yeah.
that makes total sense. He definitely
It-
got his buddy who edited his music videos to edit this fucking movie.
Yeah.
We solved it.
It's definitely intentional, I think, for this time. You know, I don't think they did this on accident or anything.
No, this
They
was a
wanted it to
choice.
look
It was
like a rock video, basically.
they wanted to. Well, here's the thing: they picked the wrong story to do it with,
Oh
Yeah.
gosh, yeah.
because the
100%.
story is also not good. We'll get into that in a minute. And then we'll get into the positives at the end, because there's way more negatives than positives, I think, on this one. But like, so I think there's a kernel of a decent idea of like the concept of somebody going through the body horror of being inflicted by the wounds of Christ is not a bad idea for a horror movie. It's like kind of like a, hey, this is kind of a neat idea. What's causing this? What is this? The reveal that we get for why it's happening, and then the rest of it is horrible. But the movie could have played way better. The script is written to be shot like The Exorcist, like deliberate, with deliberate pacing and that sort of thing. Because the way it's currently in its current form, in its current editing, it lacks any sort of scares, because there's no tension building. Because literally every shot or every second there's 3 shots. Like, what would be scary if she started getting her feet pounded with an invisible nail that's happening. What should be an intense, like surprising moment is horribly undercut by like showing like the just flashings of like the nail and all that stuff. It just takes you out of it. Am I wrong on this?
No, you're completely right. And by the time it actually got to that scene, I was completely over it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you check out.
Yeah.
What do you think, Derek?
Yeah. No, I agree. It is way overused for sure. And we've got 5 of those motherfuckers. Actually, I don't think she ever gets stabbed with the spear, does she?
She gets 4.
She only got
Yeah, no, she
4.
gets 4 of the 5.
Yeah.
Which was
So yeah, by the
plenty.
time, and some of them are just like the sequence that they happen, like when she's in the club and she gets the fucking things on her head, like
Yeah.
just terrible. I'll be honest.
Yeah,
It just
dude.
was like, it was so terrible.
Man, when she gets the so the train sequence could have been a really cool sequence. Like a really cool idea. Like, you just see her and she just gets whipped and stuff. The way that thing is shot and edited is just like there's zero tension, and you're just like kind of confused about what's going on because you don't understand the geography. And then you get the flash cuts, and then instead of there being like some kind of horror music, there's and you're like, fuck is this mishmash wildness? So yeah, that the editing is a big problem, and I think that's the number one problem of the movie is the direction and the editing, because there's and also the picture is like the color grading's that washed out '90s look, just fine. Bleach process, bleach bypass is what it is. It feels like, but like um, there's just all the stuff that should be interesting or so. For instance, there's a scene where she sees a woman outside of the shop, and she is she's outside the shop, and she sees her with the baby, and she's like, oh no, don't drop the baby, whatever. And the way all of that is shot and edited, that whole sequence is put together, is so confusing and lacks tension. And it's just by the end of the you're just like, what? Like, what could have been like a tense, well, I know when the writer's writing, he's like, oh, this would be pretty cool to do. Then he sees the movie and he's like, oh my God, what the fuck is that? But you're not off the hook, writer. I'm talking to you, Tom Lazarus and Rick Ramage, because here's the deal. The kernel of a good idea, and this might be a pacing issue with the way the movie was cut or what have you, but there's this grand conspiracy by the Catholic Church because there's a hidden book of the Bible that was written by Jesus, right? That's the conceit.
Yeah,
it's Jesus' own words.
His word.
That basically makes the Catholic Church and the churches in general useless. Like they're not they don't need to exist, because basically the meaning of it is, oh well, I'm in you at all times. I'm always here. You don't need to go to a place to worship, which is a good message. It's a great message.
Absolutely.
Takes the power away from the people, but puts the power with the people. But and so the conceit is that the Catholic Church, or this at least one crazy priest played by the incredible Jonathan Pryce, who I love in every single thing he does. He's great here too, by the way. We'll talk performances later, but Jonathan Pryce is like this slime, and you know immediately that he's a slimy, he's a slimy priest because it's Jonathan Pryce. You're like, oh yeah, of course. And he just came off of fucking Tomorrow Never Dies like 2 years before that. You're like, Bond villain, definitely. But he's like trying to keep it so that way the Catholic Church maintains their power. This is like the overarching plot. And then that the person that essentially was deciphering the book dies, and then he possesses Frankie, who's Patricia Arquette, to spread the word, to get the message out through Stigmata, I guess. Right? So I tell you all that, but here's the thing. The conspiracy plot not only doesn't come into focus, but doesn't even get brought up until there's a half hour left in this movie. So it's like the most slapdash. Oh, by the way, also there's a conspiracy. You know what I mean? It's like,
yeah, it's like, okay, let's finally get to the interesting part.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of confusing. So, if you hadn't seen this movie before and didn't know what was coming, like, because to your point, whenever they introduced that lady across the street with the baby or whatever, she had just missed her period. She thinks that she is pregnant, and so then she has this hallucination. So, like, your mind kind of goes in opposite, like, different directions. You're not thinking that this is a conspiracy about the fucking word of Jesus.
Yeah, and I mean, like, that's fine if you're trying to misdirect, but that's not what's going on, because they're laying seeds early in the movie a little bit, like by, these guys, there's something wrong with these. And then when he's sending them the things, like, I got to hide it from these guys because of this, this secret thing that's going on. But that all happens in the back half of the movie. So there's not really any, like, lead up to it. There's not, like, him being like, there's stuff going on, something's weird here, and uncovering a conspiracy. It's literally just it happens. You're like, oh, by the way, there's also this conspiracy in the background. And now, instead of we realized that we couldn't do like, because she's not possessed by a demon, we have to have like a bad guy, and the bad guy's going to be the Catholic Church is the bad guy now. But not the whole Catholic Church, you see, because he's a good guy. It's just this one guy that's representing the Catholic Church because they didn't want to offend everybody, you see. But that is like wildly written, right? I mean, terrible.
Mhm.
Can we just say it's bad? It's bad, right?
Yeah.
I kind of lost the plot.
Yeah, and the conceit, the idea, like I said, the ideal conceit of she's having these things happen, and there's a race. They also introduce a lot of stuff way too late, like, oh, by the way, if the fifth stigmata is the deadly one, we find out after she's had her fourth one. So we're not building towards anything. It's just like, oh, by the way, we ramp the stakes up right now. Not, hey, we've got to. So she has two stigmatas. We've got to. If this continues, if she gets to the fifth one, she's going to die, because at the fifth one is a spear to the side. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no proper building of anything. I don't think. It's just all like flashy shots, and strobe effects and intercut, and it looks like a Marilyn Manson video.
Basically.
Yep.
Right? I mean, yeah. What do you guys think about any of the stuff I just said? Do you agree, disagree?
I agree with a lot of it. I think, kind of deep down, the overall message is a fairly good one. You mentioned that. And to be honest, they play on like real things. Like there are parts of the Bible that are censored that they don't release. So like, there's a kernel of truth to it. Now, obviously the part about like Jesus having his own book or whatever, there's a thing at the end I didn't
And the
look into.
supernatural shit, by the way, as well.
Yeah, and there's a thing that at the end, and I didn't even look into it, but regardless, like it plays on like real things, and the church as in not a religious entity, but more of a like a control based
Political
entity.
entity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Political. Yep. So yeah, I mean a lot of.
I'm not afraid to say it.
Yeah,
I have no fear.
And we're living through some crazy times right now, where the church is a big player. So yeah, it's yeah, and that's all kind of wrapped up in a heap of garbage, to be honest with you.
–
What do you think about all of this stuff right here, Lydia?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. The story is just, it's just something. It's
It's a
like
mess, right?
it's like it's a mess, because I want to feel like like there's something there, but they just didn't do it well. They didn't execute it right or something to make it scary.
Yeah, that's the other part I was just about to touch on, is because of the way it's edited and shot, any scenes that would be scary or spooky or suspenseful are just none of those things. This is a horror film without horror. You get some body horror, but even that's kind of like censored a little bit. You don't really see that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just kind of left with a horror movie without horror, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like, did they just make this movie for couples to go like hold hands at the theater and that's it? They were just like, this
Maybe.
is just popcorn. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get
Here's what's incredibly interesting. Is like, so just the central conceit already is like, oh, well, if she's getting they say stigmatas are for these people that are like really faithful, and then they start receiving the wounds of Christ, mimicking the wounds of Christ. And then, so then she's becoming like, you see that she's possessed by something, but it can't quite be a demon because it's mimicking the wounds of Christ. So they made a supernatural religious horror film where the antagonist really can't be the antagonist, because the antagonist is kind of God to a degree, not God himself, but like religion based. And so they have to make it like, oh well, it's this guy gone mad trying to get this word out or what have you, right? I mean, that's right, right? I'm remembering that right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I took. She was possessed almost by a priest, right?
Yeah, by the spirit, Alamadea's spirit is who
Yeah,
she's
and
possessed by.
there's a little bit of connective tissue because she is not religious. She gets the rosary from her mom who visited
Mhm.
like some small town. So, like, I don't
Yeah,
know if they explicitly said this, but you assume that it was his or was blessed.
Yes,
That feels like
yeah,
the connection.
it did say
that's
that.
supposed to be it.
Yeah.
That's supposed to be it. But
The little boy at the market like is like, "Oh, this is Father so and so's actual rosary," and the other guy
yeah,
yelled at him, "Hey, that's stealing from the dead or something."
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So, and then she sends it to her daughter for some reason.
Yes, yes.
Wouldn't
So
you?
yes, that's the connection. That's how she becomes possessed.
hmm
But that's stupid.
It kind of gives away the fact that it's not stigmata, like the true stigmata.
Well, and also, I mean, you know it's not a demon because, like I said, the way it's presented anyway. But there's a couple of shots that look pretty good if it would have stayed there a little bit longer. I think the scene where she's in the street, the contact lenses and stuff she looks pretty cool,
Hmm.
like
Yeah,
pretty spooky. But that whole street scene is fucking terrible because it's
Yeah.
way over the top, and it's like I said, so you don't know what's going on. She's carving the thing. She's like, rah, and you're just like, well, that shot was really. She looked really good, but man, this just. And then, yeah, let's talk about performances real fast. Let's do something positive. Let's lean positive for a minute, because I think overall the leads give pretty good performances. They're all
Hmm.
dependable, sturdy hands, right? They're steady hands.
Yeah.
They're all good actors, so they're
Agreed.
doing their best
yeah,
with the material. Patricia Arquette's giving it her all, but the poor
yeah.
gal, the only thing she really has to do is all the physical stuff, which is why she wanted to do it, because her character is as deep as a puddle of water.
Dude, her
True.
apartment, I would have lived in the 90s.
Oh yeah, it
Yeah,
was
That was a
it's
legit.
nice
that's
apartment.
pretty bad when you get all of your reference for who this person is from her apartment.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I mean it's decent. It's shortcut storytelling. It's not a bad idea if you don't have a lot of runtime. But like, she
But
doesn't
she
get a
has
lot
like
to do
friends.
besides. Yeah, yeah. If she doesn't get a lot to do outside of, you know, that sort of stuff,
Yeah.
and she gives a great performance when she does. But like, Frankie, Frankie as a character is very like they want us to present it as, oh, this is a atheist party girl, and then
hmm
now
Hmm.
this is what's going on, and she's thrown in this world now. Not a bad idea, not a kernel of a good idea. Execution was terrible, but that's going to be the mo of this entire film. Um, but then like the way they like make her and Father Andrew's relationship is like incredibly weird, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But Gabriel Byrne's good as always. He's reliable, great. You know, he's great in scenes. Like he lends a certain gravitas to it that kind of classes the joint up a little bit. You know what I mean? Like when he's on screen, you're like, oh, okay. Like this has a more of an air of class to it because there's Gabriel Byrne, like saying some lines. But then they just cut out a lot of the interesting stuff he's going to say, like the scene where they're sitting at the table talking and
Yeah,
he
the little
gives that like
flower shop.
yeah, and they're talking and he like gives some story, some kind of backstory to himself, and then all of a sudden we cut out and it's just a montage of them talking. I was like, would it really have hurt for us to have just a few more minutes of just non-crazy editing and them just having a fucking dialogue?
Yeah, like music cuts out everything he's saying, and it just is
Mm-hmm.
looking at them like as if they're falling in love with each other.
I mean, they kind of
Yeah,
are.
it's
Well, kind
super.
of, but like she literally like leans over and like tugs on his ear at one point, and we get nothing. We get no story or audio for it, and we're just like, I wish I knew what they were saying right
Yeah,
That
they make
scene,
these. They
ugh,
they definitely try to ship these two hardcore.
yeah, they do. And I wanted to. I wanted to ship them too, but I just, I don't know. I just couldn't. But I really did want to.
Well, they're two attractive people. That's probably why you wanted to ship them.
Well, I just like
But
if they would have given us anything, but he's just
getting
like
her hats on, yeah, because like he
he's a
has
man of
really
his
no
faith.
reason to fall in love with her. Is the thing,
Yeah.
right? Like from
Except the
what
fact
we
that she's
see.
gorgeous.
Well, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's
And
like
he
I
was a
mean,
protector, I suppose. But
it
Yeah.
wouldn't be hard to fall in love in that circumstance, you know.
I mean, you spent your 15 years, dedicating. You made a decision, and you've avoided those hot babes on the street. So you know what I mean. It's like, hey, but
Oh yeah, they had to point that out, didn't they?
yeah, they had to. Oh, look, I'm a priest. I know I'm hot, but I don't know what to tell you. Married to God, baby. But yeah, that's bizarre stuff. But
That was
the
bizarre.
scene where she is like trying to seduce him is really weird because it's because if you think about it, it's the spirit of this old man that's trying to make out with Gabriel Byrne.
I mean, he
That is true.
definitely
That
gets
guy was
involved
twisted.
for sure.
That guy was really, really twisted. They're like, that's all they told us about him. Like he's kind of a twisted guy, and you're like, yeah,
He was a
guess
fanatic.
so.
He's a fanatic. He's like, hey, won't you just leave the girl alone?
He was
All
like,
right, you're right.
he was giving what is it from Conjuring 2? Old man Wilkins or whatever.
Bill Wilkinson.
Bill
And I'm
Wilkins.
78 years old.
That's what he
Yes.
was giving to me.
Yeah, and they start to throw that stuff out later too, because it's just like she was like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "Bleh." But that scene where she she tries to seduce him, then he just starts attacking him, and just throwing him everywhere, and he's just like gets thrown.
Yeah.
Gets
More
thrown
cutting.
again. Fucking throw her, do something, guys.
Dude.
Thrown through her shower, through windows, yeah.
Her mannequin, her collection of lamps, all the candles, like about 100 candles next to the tub.
Stuff.
Stuff
that everybody had. Mannequins.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how do you get 100 candles?
Dude, there's a scene that's also really funny is after she has her first stigmata with the wrist and she's in a bathtub, we do get this really cool shot of under the water and we see like her reflection, and that's a cool shot.
That was cool.
Yeah.
They spent their entire like creative budget on that. They're just like, oh, great shot. Now just throw a bunch of stuff at a wall, see if it sticks. But what's
The
really
director
funny
was
is
like,
after she
I have
gets
a vision.
it's this shot. So
Picture
after
it,
she
a
gets
woman in a tub.
All right, I like
Got
it
it.
already. Derek's already
Yeah.
greenlit it. Let's go.
Rude.
But not
This
false.
is how we get movies made. This is how we get movies made.
But no, after she gets back from the hospital, right? She we get this cut of her like looking at her bathtub, and there's blood on it, and there's water overflowing and all this stuff. And then her friend's like, Frankie, come to bed, just do this and come to bed. And my immediate thought was, nobody fucking cleaned up that bathtub while this woman was in the hospital. Your friend didn't go over there and drain the water out of the
Literally.
tub.
Dude, they just
and
are
then
going
you just
to
left
sleep.
it there and went to sleep.
That shocked me so badly. Like, there's blood dripping out of the tub, and she's like, are you gonna go to bed? You gonna go to sleep now? Like,
Well, it's supposed to be a vision, but it doesn't seem like it's a vision. That seems like that's really there, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of that one time that my brother shit his pants and then decided not to clean it up, and he just went to bed. He'll get to it later.
Horrible.
Maybe your brother had a scene, a hand in making that scene.
Maybe he did. Yeah.
No, he would have said it needs more shit.
Get to it later. Get to it later.
Way less brain cells. But yeah, like that's wild. That made me laugh. I laughed out loud. I was like, "Fucking at least hire a cleaner. What are you doing?"
like how long had the friend been home and just like chilling in there?
Well, she visited her in the hospital, and then she took her home in the hospital. So if they were in the hospital, she was in the hospital for at least 2 days. It feels like.
Yeah. They said
And
24
there's-
hours at least.
Yeah, so it's like nobody. Like that's wild. That's wild. Also, by the way, I love how the guy from Starship Troopers / Days of Our Lives is the guy she hooks up with at the beginning.
I didn't recognize him.
Yes,
I didn't
that's
either.
you know who I'm talking about from Starship Troopers, right? Like Denise Richards' boyfriend
Okay.
that
That's funny.
has
Yeah,
a
I didn't
rivalry with Johnny Rico.
I did not even clock
Yeah,
that.
he's also from Days of Our Lives. I forget who he played in Austin. I think maybe. My mom was a big Days head, so
Yeah.
there's some
Well,
Days similarities, like with Marlena being possessed by a demon, which is fucking hilarious. That was literally a plot line to Days of Our Lives.
what?
Derek, are you ripping ass over there while Lydia's laughing at Days of Our Lives?
No, I would
God
not do
damn.
that.
Dude,
Yes, Lydia,
That's
that's a real
rude.
thing.
that's
On
insane.
Days of Our Lives, Marlena was possessed by a demon for like this whole plot line.
That's insane.
Wow.
It's wild.
But
Can I just say
What were you gonna
about the
say?
friend really
course.
quick?
Mhm.
So I'm watching this movie and I'm like, man, this girl looks kind of familiar to me. I can't really place her.
Mhm.
An ad came on. Like I was watching it on a service that was playing ads in between. So I'm looking at the ad and I'm like, kind of looks like that girl. And it was her, and she's in an Estee Lauder commercial that was playing during
Really?
this movie.
That's very funny,
I
actually.
think I did not confirm it. I'm like, that has to be her. So if you
I
want
mean,
to research that,
so
I'll
you
let
know
you
who that?
have
I
at it.
mean, the actress is Nia Long, and she's been in tons of movies. Made in America, Friday, um, The Best Man, Stigmata, Held Up, which was another one of those '90s movies. She's in a couple that you might. She's in Big Mama's House too, the Empire Strikes Back of the Big Mama series. That joke really hit me. That was a good one. Good one, me. Um, yeah, she still works.
Yeah.
She's in that new Michael Jackson movie that's coming out
Okay. So I
this year.
just confirmed it. She was in that Estee Lauder commercial that I saw during this
Yep.
movie.
Yeah, she's had a really good, solid career. She constantly
I
works.
don't think that's ever happened to me. I'm just like watching a
Yeah,
movie
that's
from
really
the
funny.
90s, and then I'm like, wait a minute. I think
I
that's
mean,
that girl.
she's gorgeous, by the way. I mean,
She is. She's
see
stunning.
why she's on an Estee Lauder
I
Estee
really
Lauder
love the
commercial.
purple hair look too.
Oh, dude, '90s. Let's talk about the '90s of it all real fast before we get into this ending. Guys,
What?
Derek, you said this movie oozes '90s. What did you mean by that?
Literally everything from her fucking shoes to her outfit to the like the clothes of anybody who's not a priest to the music. Like, I mean, it
The
was
editing?
just, huh?
Bjork?
The editing, yeah. It
Yeah.
took me. I thought you said the everything, and I'm like, yeah, the everything. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say
the
that. Yeah, the
editing is what I
editing.
said.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, I mean, there is no mistaking when this movie was like set in because it.
Yeah, the
By the way,
90s-ness
editing.
of it.
I've got one tidbit. There is a scene where I think the priest who's in the church who's like doing the research. He's got something that he's gonna tell somebody. He calls him on the phone and it like fucking cuts away. Like I was like, that is the worst transition I've seen in a movie in a little while. Like,
Yeah, and then it comes back later to him talking to the guy who's from Mission Impossible 2.
yeah.
That has like the whole backstory where he's like, we are in this, and you're like,
Uh-huh.
what? He's like, yes. And then he's like, he basically meets him in church and tells him like this whole deal, doesn't he? By the way, did you guys clock Portia de Rossi?
Nope.
Who is that? Who is that?
It's
Was she the
Ellen's
nurse?
wife.
It's Ellen's wife, and you know who
Oh.
Portia de Rossi is, right, Lydia?
Oh, yeah.
From Arrested Development.
Yes.
I
Where was
spotted
she?
her. She's one of the coworkers that's cutting the hair with like the dreads, blonde with
Oh,
like the dreads. Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I was
I
like,
braids
didn't.
with the braids. Yeah,
I
with
was
the
like, I feel
braids.
like I just should know who that is, but I don't. And then, yeah, no, that makes sense.
Yeah,
Did you guys, was the nurse at the hospital who was like telling her those were self-inflicted wounds, was that who I thought it was?
I don't know. I don't see her.
Because I was like, dang, I thought she
Uh
would
oh,
be in it more.
Dr. Reston. Uh, that's Ann Cusack. Is
Yeah, that's who I thought it was.
yeah. Oh my lord,
What? Guys,
What?
it wasn't me.
yes, that's from yeah, from A League of Their Own and Multiplicity and tons of other shit. Yes.
Yeah, I thought that was her. I was like, dang, they barely even show her face.
Yeah, that's Joan and John's sister, I do believe.
That's crazy.
So the hierarchy of the Cusacks goes: John Cusack is the most famous. Joan Cusack is right behind him, and then Anne, I guess.
I didn't
But
even know
yeah,
that she was a person.
so let's talk about this ending, because why would it get better at the end? You know what I mean? Why would it get better at the end? It basically, the priests take her, supposedly to help her, but we know that the conspiracy is happening. Gabriel
Mm-hmm.
Byrne meets with the priest, and he lays it all out. He meets a guy in the church, and then he realizes, oh, it's the father, or it's that that priest is the one that's possessing her, and he's like, oh my god, they're going to try to kill her. So the priests
Let's
are in
speed
the
through
room
town.
with her. The priests are in the room with her, and they're like conducting an exorcism, essentially, which is the most boringly staged and shot exorcism I've ever seen in the history of my life.
And
But what makes it
poorly executed.
correct, everything about it. But what makes the scene so much worse is the intercutting with him, like, driving through
Racing.
town.
Yeah, to
Yeah,
get
so
there.
he's racing through town to try to make it, but there's literally no tension because of the way the pacing has been already in the editing. You can't create that. You can't ramp up that tension with these quick shots because that's what the whole movie's been. So there's literally no. Every time it cuts back and it's like boring scene, him driving, boring scene, and you're like, just hurry up and get there. We know you're going to get there in time. This is just like not nail biting. This is just really long. But he starts strangling her, and it's the funniest thing. He's just like, go with God, as he's like choking her out. And then he interrupts him, and then starts throwing him around, which is actually pretty funny because he's just like throwing him around. He's like, you idiot, you're going to kill her, whatever. And he's like, he says something about, I'm trying to protect the church. And he goes, this will be the last day you're ever at church. And he just like cowers. Oh, you're right. I have failed. But then we get the worst CGI flames and him walking through the flames. This is because he like feels and realizes that they're just a vision. And then he just walks through them and he's like, you should leave her alone. I got your message. I'll find him. And he's like, okay. And he just fucks off. Do you guys think this was high tension? What do you think?
I mean, I thought the flames looked pretty good. for this
It depends on the shots. There were certain
They were
shots
coming out
where
of the fireplace really well, like that part.
Yeah.
But whenever he goes to walk through it,
those
like
are real.
Oh yeah,
those were.
yeah,
But
the
yeah,
real
other than
flames
that,
looked
yeah.
great. You're right, Lydia. Yeah, what do you guys think of this ending? This whole climax here.
I
It
already
was
forgot
a
it.
little
It
anticlimactic for
is
sure.
an anticlimax, especially because he like carries her out, and then they sit in the courtyard, and she like kind of wakes up, and like they kind of kiss, and then she just walks off and beckons a pigeon to her like she's fucking Snow White.
I think
Then
we
we
would call
cut
it a
to
dove in that scenario.
yeah, and then because dude, there's also this terrible shot of like the flames, and then the bird flying out of it is really funny. But yeah, so she beckons the bird, and then we cut to him arriving at the statue and finding the scrolls. Then we get that really fucking bizarre post film scribe that says in 1945 these books were found, and the Catholic Church said no, I don't think so, ma'am.
Blasphemy or whatever.
And you're like,
Yeah.
and then the credits start rolling, and I literally was like, what the fuck? We get really no resolution to Frankie's story. I guess she's just fine now, and she's just gonna play with birds.
Yeah, she just really loves birds now.
This is the prequel to fucking Home Alone 2.
And the fact that like that shot of her with the dove in her hand, it was clearly just eating a bunch of seeds out of her hand.
Well, I love it. She's just like, and then it goes.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's special.
What do you think, Derek?
Yep. That's my thought. Is yep. Yeah, I was unimpressed with the ending. It felt cheap. It felt like they ran out of budget or they ran out of time and they're like, guys, we got to wrap this up. let's just have him say he's gonna, spread the gospel of Jesus and leave her alone. That's what it felt like.
Yeah. Feels forgettable.
So here's what's interesting about Gabriel Byrne actually in this movie is his accent's kind of weird. I will say that. It like kind of slips in and out. It's not enough to take me. I mean, I still think he's really good in the movie. I have no problem with him. But guys, apparently here's some little backstory for you. This movie was produced, by the way, by Frank Mancuso Jr. If that name sounds familiar to you, that's because he was a producer on all of the Paramount Friday the 13th films, starting with Friday 2.
What?
Or Friday 3, one of those. Yeah. Frank Mancuso Jr. is like the one that shepherded the Friday movies along in Paramount canon. And apparently, it says here that development was first announced in January of '98 when Mancuso announced his intention to produce a supernatural thriller helmed by Wainwright. Apparently, Wainwright first came across Tom Lazarus' script in 1992 and spent the next 5 years trying to get the film set up. So think about that. He spent 5 years trying to get this movie made, and then he made this. That's wild.
That editing would have taken a very long time, I do think.
Well, I mean, like, what's crazy is like you would think he would have a really
good one.
You think he would have like a really concrete vision after 5 years of living with this screenplay.
No
you know
kidding.
What I mean?
Yeah.
And apparently he did. This was his vision. It's just that's wild that this is what his vision was.
Maybe he needs glasses.
So Rupert Wainwright is fucking a very
the
interesting
name to pronounce.
He's a very interesting filmmaker because here's his fucking track record, and you're going to laugh so hard because some of it's just kind of out, All right, you ready? And his first feature film that wasn't a TV film was 1994's classic Blank Check. You remember Blank Check, right?
Yeah, I remember that movie.
Yeah. Do you remember Blank Check, Lydia? It's like a
No.
Home Alone ripoff. It's a Home
Oh,
Alone
really?
ripoff where the kid gets written a check for $1 million and spends
Oh.
$65 million. Essentially, because they didn't know how far $1 million was apparently. But he gets a blank check and then he fills it in for $1 million, and then he buys all of this stuff and he becomes like this Mr. Macintosh. It's a silly little comedy that's best remembered for the fact that an adult woman kisses like a 10-year-old French kisses like a 10-year-old boy at the end of it.
Ugh.
Because she's like, call me in about 10 years. Remember
It
that,
was
Derek?
the 90s. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Wild. So he directed that. He directed a movie called The Sadness of Sex, which I've never seen or heard of. Then he did, which, I mean, if there's a sadness, you're doing it wrong. Then he directed Stigmata in 99. And guys, this explains it all. He directed the remake to The Fog.
No way.
Well, that explains a lot.
That starts
A
out
lot,
with Fall
right?
Out Boy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, explains so much.
That's
He just does not. He just makes bad movies.
that's perfect. That's perfect.
So
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
editing is the same in that movie.
yeah, I mean, it's a little less chaotic. I mean, it's still really bad. The Fog. The problem with the 2005 Fog is we reviewed it. It's one of the first episodes on this podcast. Go back and check it out. But the biggest problem with that movie is it's boring.
Yeah,
Like bored to tears boring. It has terrible visual effects and
terrible
ruins
acting.
John Carpenter fucking 10 out of 10 classic,
No
or at least an
kidding.
8 out of 10 classic. The Fog is so good.
That's such a good point. It's like a John Carpenter film, and they're just gonna like ruin it on purpose. Like, what were they thinking?
Well, I don't think it was on purpose. They thought it was going to be good. He just has terrible taste.
I just can't even.
To be fair,
I can't even imagine.
you know, he made Blank Check and Stigmata.
Yeah, it's just like
Blank Check is, by my estimation, his best movie by like a large margin. Wouldn't you say, Derek?
Mm-hmm. For
Of
sure.
the films we've seen?
would have
Yeah,
to
and if
be.
you haven't seen it, Lydia, I mean, you're too old to. Like, this was for kids for
It
sure.
was fine. I liked it when I was a kid. It was
Yeah,
fine.
I haven't seen it since it came out. You know what? Maybe this
liked it,
weekend I'll
yeah.
make my kids watch it. That way I can get a refresher.
I mean, sure, there's better ways to spend your time, but you do you, buddy. And then, so that is this movie. By the way, by the numbers, this movie was a box office hit. It was produced on a budget of $29 million, and it brought in $89 million worldwide. So it made its money, but the reviews were pretty savage. It's sitting at a 22 on Rotten Tomatoes. Roger Ebert gave it 2 stars and called it possibly the funniest movie ever made about Catholicism.
What a statement!
Yeah.
The funniest movie ever made about Catholicism.
So there you have it.
I would say that would be Dogma, but
Well, he said, but you have to remember, Dogma hadn't come out yet. This is 1999.
that's true.
That's
That's
the fact that
hilarious.
it was funny.
Yeah. I mean, there's a couple things I thought were funny, but most of it to be honest, guys, it was kind of giving me a headache to watch it. Like, it just was not a pleasant watch for me.
Man, I felt so bored. And I feel like
Yeah,
the ads didn't help.
Well, yeah, that happens too. But dude, I just for me was like just the editing was so hyperactive. It was kind of giving me a head. Like I was just like, man, this is like, and it takes you out of it. I feel like instead of adding energy, I feel like it zaps energy. If it's just nonsensical stuff, there's definitely stuff to be. You know, obviously you cut for pacing and for tension and for forward momentum, but you got to cut correctly. It's just I don't know. This was deliberately done, and it was very weird. By the way, the editing. Don't think you're getting out of this unscathed, even if it was by the director's choice. This was edited by Michael R. Miller, who I don't see any other credits for, so there's that. And that is Stigmata. What are we thinking, guys? You go, D-Man.
Honestly, the best thing this movie had going for it was the acting. Like, they had at least some competent actors, and not some of the like supporting actors were really good as well. Some of the dialogue in this movie was pretty decent. I think overall the idea could have been really interesting, and it played on some real aspects that I mentioned earlier, that the church kind of does. So there's a foundation there. It's just they built a pile of shit on that foundation, and it does not come across very well. This movie did not age well at all. Like it aged like, I don't know, some stale ass
Milk.
cheese.
Like milk. Like milk.
Milk,
Yeah.
yeah. But I'm gonna give this movie a 4 because the acting was pretty good, but my God, the editing is atrocious.
What say you, Lydia?
Honestly, I'm relieved that
That
Derek
it's
just gave
over.
it a 4
Why?
because I was like, oh man, what do I give this movie? Like, I don't want to be too mean, but this movie really bored me. I mean, the best things about it were just cut short every time. I wanted to know more about the characters because the actors are good and interesting.
Yeah. To your point, real fast, Lydia, before you get into your rating,
Yeah.
I feel like the movie would have been obviously with the editing itself is terrible, but like, or at least not something that's for us, should we say? And I don't think for most people, but I feel like if this movie was given room to breathe, it would have been a better movie. I
Mhm.
think it would have allowed us to build tension better. It would have allowed us to care about the characters more. So we're like, just real quick, and then I'm not going to go on a huge tangent, but like, think about The Exorcist, the way The Exorcist is built. Like, up until like Reagan becomes like super possessed and they do the full exorcism, right?
Yeah.
Um, Up until that, it plays like a family like a drama. It plays like a drama, a really
Mhm.
interesting, well acted, well shot drama. So you're invested in the characters, which is what makes the scary shit that happens that much scarier and impactful because you're like, I don't want bad things to happen to this little girl. I don't want bad things to happen to this wonderful mother, and I don't want bad things to happen to this priest, this empathetic priest that we spent all this time with.
Mhm.
This conflicted guy who's trying to find his faith. So it's very interesting. It's a character study. It's all of these great things. This, you can see where the script had seeds of that. You can see where they wanted to lay those foundations. But the most like we get is Gabriel Byrne walking in the rain for like 5 seconds before it cuts to something else.
Mhm.
We just
Mhm.
don't get moments of just uninterrupted dialogue.
Yeah. I'm wondering, like, what year did The Crow come out? Like what movies
1993.
Yeah, I was gonna say 94, but yeah,
like there
93.
Yeah,
must have
94,
been
93,
so
94.
even then it's like this seems a little outdated for the time and also like not where I don't know, like yeah, something's just off about this movie. It's off. It should have been a drama. Like it should have been more of a drama like that. And I was even thinking like Rosemary's Baby. Like if they would have just
Yeah.
had her cuz they had so many beautiful shots of her, and I just want to know what she's thinking. Like you said, she just has no depth of character really. So I think I'm gonna give it a 4 also. I don't think it's the
Yeah,
worst
I
movie
think
ever, but I just wish it would have been better.
I'm with you guys. I'm about a 4. Like, it's nowhere near as terrible as like fucking Slime City
Yeah.
or fucking Home Sweet Home or something like that, which is the worst movie we've ever done, by the way, by a large margin. Uh, that movie's, you can't see what's going on half the fucking time, and it's just awful.
Yeah.
But It's not like on that level of bad. It's just not great either. It's one that I was interested to revisit because of remember watching it as a kid, and I remember, like liking certain shots, but like it wasn't one that stayed with me either. Like End of Days, I watched a bunch of times, but that had watchability. It's Arnold. Of course, I was gonna like it as a kid. You know what I mean? It's fucking Arnold. I like anything with Arnold. I liked Junior when I was a kid. Like it had Arnold in it.
Yeah.
But like, it's just I was interested to see how because there's been ones that we haven't seen in a long time, and we revisit and we're like, man, this movie really holds up. This was a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's ones like this one where we revisit and we're like, eek, you know, this one wasn't very good. So this unfortunately falls in that camp. And look, filmmaking's hard. I'm not saying it's not. Trust me, we know. Just getting the project off the ground is hard. But this just was not the not for me. We'll say not for us, not for us at all. So there you go. And Mr. Wainwright's vision is not for us because I've not liked any of his films except Blank Check. So there you go. Derek, before we get into your pick, we have to Atkinize this movie. Who's the great Tom Atkins going to play? It's going to be obviously Father Andrew, right?
Mm-hmm. Makes the most sense.
Yep. Gabriel Byrne's great, but Tom Atkins is greater. He's Tom Atkins. Yep. Also, I'd like to replace the director with Tom Atkins as well, if that's a possibility.
We've never done that before.
And the editor is going to be directed and edited and starring Tom Atkins.
Here we go.
It's going to have a lot more beer, some more boobs, and because there's none, and and Tom Atkins can't have that. Derek, it's your pick, buddy. What are we watching next week?
All right, guys. I am not going to torment you this week.
Yeah,
I
because we just went through one.
Yeah. So we are going to watch Frailty.
Oh,
2001.
Bill Paxton.
Yep.
Matthew McConaughey.
Yep. This
Where's
movie,
that streaming, buddy?
Tubi. It's on Tubi for freebie.
Good. Don't say anything about the movie yet, Derek, because we will talk about your first experience watching it next week.
Okay.
Like always.
Yep.
So it's on Tubi and where?
Tubi is the only one I saw.
Oh, okay. Well, it's on Tubi. Frailty. Have you ever seen Frailty, Lydia?
I don't think so.
Cool. You're in for a treat. I have seen Frailty, and we'll talk about when I watched it next week. So, guys, that is Stigmata. Stigmata. There it is. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts on Stigmata. Were we a little harsh on it? Or do you enjoy this movie? Do you think it's great? Should we have been nicer to a movie that is depicting the wounds of our favorite Red Cross doctor? Let us know down below. Also, tell us what movies you want us to do in the future. We're open to all of them. Good, bad, ugly. Derek's picked mostly bad and ugly, but we'll see. He'll probably pick those guys. This week he picked a good one. Maybe. Lydia, I don't know, because you've never seen it. But comment down below what your thoughts. You can follow us online at HiLa Productions. You can follow us at Facebook on HiLa Productions, or facebook.com at HiLa Productions. And stay tuned after to watch the opening scene for our feature film that we are trying to get made, Secret Admirer. It is a fun slasher flick. And we have some big news for High Stakes coming up really soon, our short film that we're gearing up. We'll have some casting announcements, some production announcements, maybe some tidbits of plot. We'll see. But it's coming sooner than you think. That movie's going to be rolling in front of cameras. So we're excited about that. Right, Derek?
Yep.
Don't let his tone of voice fool you. He's super excited.
I'm very monotone anyway.
Yep. Fucking Ben Stein. So next week, hop on down to Tubi and check out Frailty. And until next week when we do that, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, if you're going to scream Blade movies.